So, if you guys haven't seen it already, we have it up on the screen now. Steelers DB, aka Derek, made a top 10 list of Steelers players going into the 2025 season. And while I have some agreements, I also have some disagreements with this list. Now, I'm not going to, go too hard on Derek or whatever because here he is inspiring me to make my own video off of this list. But I definitely think there are some adjustments that can be made. And so, like I said, if you haven't seen it already, this is something, that's on Twitter. Give Steelers DB, aka Derek, a follow on Twitter. He's very good on there. Shout out to Steelers Now as well for posting this for me. And yeah, he made a list, and I kind of wanted to go through it with you guys. I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to give my personal takes because one, there is one big glaring player who is not on this list who I really think could use some, love. Like for God's sakes, the guy is Chris Boswell. By the way, we're gonna go ahead and spoil it early. Chris Boswell, he's not on this list, and while it is of personal opinion, while he is a kicker, maybe, you just don't really value kickers that highly. I don't think you can make any kind of Steelers list and not have Chris Boswell on it. And so for starters, we got to get him on the list, and I'll tell you where I have him in a moment here. But once again, I do want to give a shout out to Steelers DB, aka Derek. Go and follow him on Twitter. I think he has a YouTube channel as well. Go subscribe to him and all that fun stuff. I'm not going to try to clown his list or whatever. This really isn't going to be that deep. But like I said, he made his list, and I kind of want to make a list here. And so starting it out, the first two is really undebatable, right? So he has TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Zach Frazier, Minka Fitzpatrick, DK Metcalf, Patrick Queen, Alex Highsmith, Joey Porter Jr., Pat Fryermuth, and Nick Herbig. Those are his top 10. And most of these guys I honestly agree with. Now, the placement of all of them, it can get a little spooky, I guess, for me. But the top two, it's undebatable. It's TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward. TJ Watt, do we really have to talk about it? I mean, the guy is TJ Watt. He is probably the greatest player to ever touch grass. He's the greatest player the Steelers have had since Big Ben. He is just the all-world, all-time, all-pro, all TJ Watt, all Watt. Like, he's just the GOAT. He's the GOAT. There's nothing really more to say about TJ Watt. But then Cam Hayward, right? Everybody wrote this guy off last season, and I was one of very few who was like, yo, we need to give this guy a chance. Like, they were talking about extending Cam Hayward, and people were very scared about it. They were like, oh, he's old. Oh, he's hurt. Oh, we shouldn't do this. We should, focus the money elsewhere. We should let him go, blah, 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 blah. And then Cam Hayward came out, and he had his best season of probably his career last year. And, like, I don't know off the top of my head how old he is. I want to say he's like 35, 36 maybe. Like, he's definitely prone to start falling off for sure. Like, it could happen any moment now. But I think people are trying to be too early, too woke, too, ahead of the game when it comes to, writing off Cameron Hayward. And so for now, he is for sure our second best player because he was our second best player last year. And until he really falls off, until you can actually see a significant, drop in his play, he's got to be a top two player on the Steelers because once again, every single season he backs it up. Every single game he backs it up. This dude is flying down the field 50 yards trying to chase somebody down. And so, yeah, Cameron Hayward has to be a top two player in my opinion. But number three is where I'm going to have to start my disagreements. And I have my own list here on my phone. Maybe I'll get it up on the screen here. But number three, I don't have it. Number three is going to be Chris Boswell. Like, number three has to be him because he scored the most points for us last season. He almost tied the all-time NFL record in terms of points scored last season. He is in the prime of his career. Anytime we put him out there, anytime the offense can't do anything, he is kicking the ball 50 yards, 60 yards if we need him to. If we need him to make 6 field goals in a game, he's going to do that for us. Like, there is no way the all-pro kicker, Chris Boswell, is not on this list. Why did Steelers DB not have him on the list? Honestly, I don't know. Once again, I really think it comes down to him and how he, values kickers or whatever. Like, maybe he just doesn't, respect them. Not too much on Steelers DB, not too much on, special teams. But maybe he's just in that opinion that, kickers don't count. I'm not sure. But Chris Boswell has to be on the list. Like, there's just no doubt about it. And then number four, right? We have this part right here with DK, Minka, and Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier being a top 3 player for us. Maybe, right? Like, for sure. Like, he played a fantastic rookie season, and maybe he is a top 3 player. But number 4 for me, because obviously we have Boswell in this 3 spot. Number 4 has to be DK Metcalf. Minka Fitzpatrick kind of had a down year, and Zach Frazier, while he is on the up and up, I believe DK Metcalf's talent is I think it's right there. Granted, he has been a Seattle Seahawk. We really don't get to watch him play that often, but we're going to get to watch him play all season this year with whoever's throwing him the ball. But DK Metcalf to me has to be number 4. And then after DK Metcalf, that is where I put Minka Fitzpatrick. Now, of course, like I said, he kind of fell off a little bit. We're a little mad at Minka at this moment. I don't really think I look like Minka anymore. Everybody in the comments used to say I look like Minka Fitzpatrick. then he started playing like ass and I started gaining weight. And so now I don't think like we look like each other anymore. But if he starts playing good again, I will, definitely go back to saying I look like him. But right now it's not too good to look like Minka Fitzpatrick. But I have him at number 4. Or I'm sorry, I have Minka at number 5, DK at number 4, and then number 6 is where I would put Zach Frazier. Maybe you can put him ahead of Minka right now. Maybe the potential outweighs what Minka has done, but I think Minka, because last season, right, Minka didn't have the best year, but the season before that, I want to say Minka was like really balling. He was really hooping. And it kind of, I don't want to say went unnoticed because like we love Minka, but I think the rest of the NFL didn't necessarily see how good Minka was playing. And I just firmly remember seeing, the how do I want to say the importance of Minka out there in the backfield. I firmly remember seeing him make these tackles, make these plays. And while, we get later in the season, while, we play the Ravens in the run game and Minka all of a sudden can't tackle, like that for sure happens. But right now, I have Minka at number 5. I have Zach Frazier at number 6. And then number 7, he's all the way up here for Steelers DB. Actually, no, number 7 is still correct. Number 7, I have Alex Highsmith. Granted, he's dealt with some injuries, and that is, I guess, if you can like knock him for that. But when he is healthy, when he is out there playing, Alex Highsmith is like damn near otherworldly. Like he's literally TJ Watt on the other side of TJ Watt. I believe Alex has been better than Bud Dupree has been. And we remember how hyped we were about Bud Dupree when him and TJ Watt were both getting to the quarterback. Alex Highsmith, if he can stay on the field, he's a first round draft pick. I forget when we drafted him. We drafted him with a 3rd round pick in 2020. He is a first round draft pick when Alex Highsmith is out there hooping, and nobody knows about it really. It's only us Steelers fans who know how good Alex Highsmith is, right? But the rest of the league is going to be put on notice, and Alex Highsmith is for sure our number 7 player. And then number 8, I have Joey Porter Jr. as well, so I'm kind of sticking to his list. Joey Porter Jr. He's a hooper. He's a dog. Like if you take away the holdings, which I don't know. I feel like he's just a physical player. If you take away the holdings, like this guy is like literally one of the best corners in the NFL, and he's been a fantastic addition to this defense. And shout out to the Chicago Bears for giving us Joey Porter Jr. for Chase Claypool a little while back. He's only growing in talent. Now we have Darius Slay isn't on this list. I forgot we had Darius Slay. Do you put Darius Slay anywhere on this list? I'm not sure, but now that he has a Darius Slay next to him, now that he has like a Beanie Bishop out there, now that he has like a Deshaun Elliott kind of backing him up too in the safety position, like Joey Porter Jr. is only going to continue to ascend. And I believe if I were to do the same video next season, Joey Porter Jr. would definitely be like higher up. And so yeah, I agree with Joey Porter Jr. being number 8. And then number 9, he's not on this list at all either. But number 9, I would have Deshaun Elliott because I believe his play in the backfield at the safety position this season was outstanding. It was very good. It was like the best free agent signing we've had in a minute because he came in and immediately made an impact. And I mentioned him before, but I have a friend, Rick, who likes the Dolphins, and he was actually kind of hype about us getting Deshaun Elliott. Now, Deshaun had some comments about the Dolphins and whatnot, and now Rick doesn't necessarily like Deshaun Elliott. It is what it is. Football, we take shit to heart a lot. So I understand that. But Deshaun Elliott for us, like we are very happy to have Deshaun Elliott. He's a hooper. He's a baller. And like that was a fantastic signing out of us. And then number 10. Number 10, I have a mix of players, and this is like all up to you guys. Number 10, I have Pat Freiermuth, I have Nick Herbig, or I have Patrick Queen. All 3 of them, any one of these guys could be number 10. I believe Patrick Queen, to me, is the farthest from that 10 spot. Now, maybe that's a hot take. Maybe, Nick Herbig being there, but Patrick Queen not there. Derek has him all the way at 6, but I don't know. Patrick Queen, to me, just like wasn't really balling like I thought he was going to ball. Ravens fans, they might have been telling the truth about the guy. He might have been a little overrated, and we paid a lot of money for him. I still think he has that potential. He has that ability. But just based on last season, I'm not sure if he's like he's definitely not number 6. And then it comes down to how you rate Pat versus Patrick Queen. You got Pat Freiermuth and Patrick Queen on week. Me, you guys know if you've been on the channel a little bit, I'm not really the highest on Muth. Like I think he's cool, but I think he's cool. But other than that, I'm not really like going to ride for the guy. But between him and Patrick Queen, one of them can take that number 10 spot, or it can even be Nick Herbig, who, by the way, when he does play, when we see Nick Herbig out here balling, we know like the impact he has. We know how good he can be. It's just he doesn't really hit the field that often, and like him in the run support defense, like he's not all the way there yet. But him just strictly, pass rushing the quarterback. You saw him in week 2 against the Chargers. He just absolutely threw Rashawn Slater off of him, who's like one of the best left tackles or right tackles in the league. He's one of the best tackles. And Nick Herbig just absolutely dogged him, right? And like this is a guy who was a fourth round draft pick. We really only play him like in certain situations. Like he's a depth piece for us, but for another team, this guy would be like a fucking top 5 player for them. If Nick Herbig, you put him on any team, like the Bengals, for example, because they have, nobody on defense. You put Nick Herbig over there, like he's gonna put up baller numbers. He's gonna be just like Trey Hendrickson fighting to God for a contract, and the Bengals just won't pay him because they're a dirty organization. You know those damn Cincinnati Bengals. But Nick Herbig, he's just kind of been put down on the depth chart due to having Alex Highsmith, due to having TJ Watt, due to having all the depth pieces that we have. But yes, Nick Herbig is a fantastic player for us. And I mean, if you want to put Darius Slay up there too, like I forgot we had him, and I know he's up there in age, but I really think he's still somebody you could consider at a top 10 spot for us. But yeah, you need Chris Boswell on this list. Honestly, this is a 10-minute video of me doing this, but really the only gripe I had was Chris Boswell wasn't on the list. Like this is all pretty opinionated outside of the top 2 because I don't think you can have a different top 2 than these two. But yeah, you need Chris Boswell on here. I believe Deshaun Elliott also should have cracked it. Patrick Queen, I think, is a little bit too high up. But once again, this is just opinionated, and I want to know what you guys think down there in the comments. I want to know who you guys have as your top 10 Steelers right now. Right now, hold on, let me just overall, let me put out my list again. So number 1, I have TJ Watt. Number 2, I have Cam Hayward. Number 3, Chris Boswell. 4, DK Metcalf. 5, Micah Fitzpatrick. 6, Zach Frazier. 7, Alex Highsmith. 8, Joey Porter Jr. 9, Deshaun Elliott. And then 10 is a mix of Pat Freiermuth, Nick Herbig, or Patrick Queen. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with that list, if you think it's, missing somebody. I'm trying to think. Like I said, I forgot we had Darius Slay. I'm trying to think if there's anybody on the team who maybe I'm like forgetting about. If we get Aaron Rodgers, does this list change? Is Aaron Rodgers better than any of these 10 players on the screen here? He's better than Pat Freiermuth for sure. But, is he better than any one of these people here? That remains to be seen. I guess we'll have to readjust this list if we end up getting him. Will Howard crack this list at the end of this season? Because I don't care about Mason Rudolph playing. I'll be honest. Like if Mason plays, it's just like whatever. But like I don't think we're gonna like ascend. Will Howard is our only chance to like really ascend as the Steelers. But maybe I'm just sleeping on Mason. Let me know down in the comments, guys. I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I wanted to get this out. Steelers training camp, I believe, is starting soon, and we still don't have Aaron, so there's going to be a lot of stories to talk about. But we're going to get to see the footage of the players, not just the rookies, but everybody coming back to the team. We'll see who got better, who got worse. And Patrick Queen, it's time to prove yourself, man. I'm looking at him right now as I'm ending this video. Patrick Queen needs to prove himself. I'm excited to see DK Metcalf, and I'm excited to see Minka Fitzpatrick get to it. Anyways, this has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.